Well, after the excitement and shenanigans of the last few days and our final days at Real Madrid, it's quite nice to return to a little bit of normality. New club, back in familiar surroundings in Germany. Got a little bit of revenge to deal with Schalke down the road, who sacked me unceremoniously after only 8 episodes many years ago. The gilet still stings. My new German gear hasn't arrived yet, so you're going to have to cope with suited Kev for a little bit longer. But before we get into managing our new club, Borussia Dortmund, our final club of non-league to legend this year, I am officially committing to this being the beginning of the end. But before we get into any of that, we have to head to the Halifax mortgage calculator. Other mortgage calculators are available. Work out what we can borrow and where on earth we're going to live. And with our shiny new salary of £1.95 million a year, we're able to borrow up to, over £9 million. And this time, we're actually going to buy somewhere in Germany rather than accidentally renting it like we did last time. And there is an argument that we could just carry on in the same area that we're familiar with. We were in the northern part of Gelsenkirchen last time we were here in Germany, managing Schalke. You can see just how close Schalke and Dortmund are to each other. For those of you questioning why Dortmund are the club that I have to go to for my Schalke revenge, they're their fiercest rivals. They're just down the road. And we ain't living down this end of town. We're looking for something in Dortmund itself. We're looking for something luxurious, something magnificent. Let's see what we can find. Now, searching for luxury properties within Dortmund, I do worry that this one might be catching me up in renting again. Because €85,000, I might move there in real life. But this feels a little bit more like it. €3 million for a villa in Dortmund. Let's have a little look at it. Oh, look at it straight away. And what is Chelsea Piers? Why are we getting an advert for what presumably is a West London dating website? That seems a little bit weird. But we have a balcony terrace. We have an intercom. We have satellite TV. We have 357 living spaces. I assume that's what it means. 100 toilets. Some of this, the translations might be off. There's a wine cellar, a guest toilet, underfloor heating, a marble floor, a sauna. This is what I'm talking about. This is luxury right here. Let's have a look around our new €3 million villa. That is a cupboardy kitchen. Where's the fridge? Where's the dishwasher? It worries me that they're hidden. I'll never find them again. We have double doors next to a staircase. That looks like a bit of a wasted opportunity where you could sneak in a chair. I wonder if this is one of these exotic continental houses that doesn't come with the chairs. Of course it's not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you'd missed these ones, 9, 10 chairs just in view from that one shot, and a phone that's on the floor. They've spent all their money on chairs and a fancy house with a shiny ceiling. They can't even afford a phone table. This is why they're having to sell up. Weird double bed with single sheets on. And I guess that's the balcony terrace thing. More chairs, these ones with the horns as well, which, I mean, I am a tall man and I would be a little bit alarmed standing up outside of that chair. This would be the end of me, standing up out of that chair and getting a head full of horn, which nobody wants. Weird shot of the staircase. Another shot of the bedroom from slightly further away. Balls. Oh no, there's the balcony area above yet more chairs, which is very nice to see. Chairs with a canopy, solo chair. This is what I'm talking about. Other angle of the balcony. This will do. This feels like a house that fits the manager of what is soon to be the greatest club in Europe. Let's go get Dortmund sorted out. Hello and welcome to Club 6, Part 1 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we are going to get to know, introduce ourselves to our new team here at Borussia Dortmund. The revenge plan is fully in action. If you are new to the series because of the big fat episode 1 on the thumbnail, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, all that kind of stuff. But for some background, I managed Schalke earlier in this career, Dortmund's big rivals, and got sacked after 8 episodes. I even bought a gilet. So this is all about getting revenge. It's all well and good going and doing whatever we ended up achieving at Real Madrid because of the way that worked out. I don't actually know if we won the Champions League or not there before we left, but it's all about winning the Champions League here with Dortmund, and they have been struggling a little bit. As you can see, they actually only finished 5th in Bundesliga this season just gone. So for the first time in a long, long time, the season ahead is going to be a season not in the Champions League for Dortmund. So it's going to be a slightly longer process than it perhaps would have been otherwise. I'm looking at this as a 5-year plan to take Dortmund from where we are now, as not even in the top 4 in Germany, to champions of Europe, and really stick it to Schalke. That's the plan. So if we just have a little bit of a tour of the club, the media are expecting us to finish 4th this season. That is definitely doable, definitely a plan. We need to get back in the Champions League ASAP. And with the kind of budget we've been given, that might just be possible. We've got incredible facilities across the board, a massive stadium. I'm saying 5 years. It shouldn't even need to be 5 years looking at this. We've got £272 million to spend this summer, a good sizable wage budget as well. We do need to do a bit of a rebuild, because the reason there's so much money knocking around the club is because they sold that amount of players last summer and didn't really replace them. So there is a lot of work that needs to be done. That gives you a little bit of a clue as to who the best players at the club are. We're not going to read too much into that. But the club vision, they are looking to do things my way. They want to play attacking football. Don't sign anybody over the age of 30. So there's going to be no more Adeyemi, Tammy Abraham kind of signings, unfortunately, at least not in the early days. And they want me to sign players under the age of 21 for the first team. Proper Dortmund stuff, and focus on German players, which might be a little bit tricky. Signing a squad full of Champions League quality under 21-year-old Germans, I don't know that that's going to be possible. So we might, I mean, that's only favoured. A lot of this is only favoured. And the most important thing is they want us to qualify for the Europa League and eventually work towards, I mean, they're saying within 5 years being best of the rest in Germany. As far as I'm concerned, within 5 years, we are the best in Europe. And that is the only acceptable outcome. And we will be ending the series here at Dortmund. For those of you who are questioning, goodness me, he's stringing it out a little bit this year. This is it. This is the final job of the series. We're going to be here at Dortmund until we win the Champions League, or until we hit the 5-year timer, whichever happens sooner. And at that point, we will end the series and move on to whatever may be next. Ignore the date at the top there. Obviously, this all happened after the Champions League final that you've already seen. What I'm going to do now, using some mysterious internet magic, is just adjust the calendar just to bring it to where it's supposed to be. And then we'll have a proper look around this squad. Oh, there we go. I've fixed the date. It is now the 30th of May, 6 p.m. What's been going on in the inbox? Real Madrid's manager's just retired from football, having won the Champions League. What a career Temporary Kev must have had. Temporary Kev, 62 appearances and 30 goals for England. His first and only venture into management was to be an extremely brief spell with Real Madrid, where he was in charge for just 2 days, but won the Champions League. Probably, gotta say, greatest manager in history, I guess. But let's not worry about Temporary Kev. I want a legitimate Champions League for my CV, and this is the place to be to make that happen. I mentioned before about selling off a lot of key talent this season. This is where it's all gone wrong. Brendan Rodgers was here for a long time, and throughout most of the time he was here, it was quite a balanced transfer policy. You can see the season before, selling 140, bringing in 220. The year before that, a net spend of over 150 million. Year before that, roughly even on the spending. I mean, a slight profit that year, but by and large, you can go back a long, long way. There was never really a year quite like this last year that they've just had. And I don't really know what's caused it, because it doesn't seem like there's been any obvious financial problems at the club. There's £500 million sat in the bank account and absolutely zero debt. So there was no financial incentive to have the fire sale that they seemed to have last summer. But they had it all the same. And that was despite qualifying for the Champions League. So they finished 4th last season, did get into the Champions League, but then sold most of the squad and ended up finishing 5th. sacking Brendan Rodgers, and it's all got a little bit weird. There was no major players that disappeared. It was just lots of important players. This guy's gone to Liverpool, key defender, I would imagine. This guy went to Manchester City, important goalkeeper. Maybe we need to go and look at Silva or even Hoyenhal. This guy went to Hertha Berlin, another defender gone. They've sold an entire Champions League level squad. I mean, even Posh got in on the action. This guy went to Peterborough as a defensive midfielder. It's all very odd that that many players leave for that amount of money. And the only first team player really that's come in, I mean, he is a goalkeeper who was never going to be good enough. So the only first team player that came in with all of those players leaving was an attacking midfield player who looks pretty decent, but only played 13 times. It was a very strange summer from Brendan Rodgers, which means we're now going to have a strange summer in the opposite direction. We've got £700,000 off of wage budget, £266 million of transfer budget. We can shuffle this around in many different ways to make this work the way it needs to work, but we need to go into it with a plan. What do we need? What have we got? What are we targeting? That's what we need to figure out now. Full disclosure, tomorrow will be the transfer episode. I'm going to try and squeeze it all in today. Today, we're just going to figure out what we've got and what we need to look to build, really. What are our gaps in the squad? So our star player is Stefan Drury, who is a 23-year-old Belgian international, attacking midfielder. What is it with this game this year and attacking midfielders being the star men? Koulibaly was the star man that we had at Real Madrid. Obviously, Schultz was the man at Norwich, having come through at Schalke. And here we are again, presenting with another star man who is an attacking midfield player. I wonder how he compares to somebody like Koulibaly. Are we able to... I mean, we left yesterday, so we might not be able to do the comparison anymore because we've got attribute masking on and Football Manager's insane. No, we do still have full attributes for Koulibaly, so we can compare him to Drury and get an idea of how our best player there compares to our best player here, so we can see how far behind we are with our real top talents. So Koulibaly slightly ahead on mentals. Drury's ahead aerially and technically. He's better at attacking. He's got better vision. They've got the same speed and Drury's more physical. So I would make the argument that of the two, Drury is the better player. Our star man, our key playmaker, is better than the guy who did that role at Manchester City. I'm sure lots of you will now tell me, looking at those attributes, why I'm wrong. But if you put the key attributes on for the role he's likely to play, which is an attacking midfielder on support, you can see that he is bettering or equaling or bettering Koulibaly for just about every one of those key attributes. The only area Koulibaly wins is anticipation. Everywhere else, it's the Stefan Drury show. So our star man is a proper star. Koulibaly has just been the key player for a Champions League winning side. We have the core here of what we need, especially because we've got two other players at a good age who are also 4.5-star current ability players. We've got an excellent core here, it seems. Luis Gustavo is a 25-year-old Brazilian who's got 10 goals and 17 caps for Brazil, thinks he's a false nine. We'll fix him this summer. I mean, we'll teach him that isn't a real thing and he's going to learn to play as an advanced forward. But if we look at him as an advanced forward, he's very quick. He's got 20 for his agility, very skillful, good finisher. He's going to score an absolute ton of goals for us. He's been at Dortmund 3 years where he's been scoring a ton of goals. So that's an attacking midfielder and a striker. And then to complete the set, we've got Luis Stewart, good Spanish name there. What is it with all the fantastic Spanish defenders in this save? But he is a 6-foot-tall centre-back, ball-playing centre-back, 4.5-star current ability, 43 caps for Spain. And he's been here a long time. That is a great core of a team. Stewart, Gustavo, Drury as the three players that we build around. So I think the problem we've probably got is strength in depth. And that's where we link back in to the club vision stuff. We're not looking to go, and this is why having 266 million is so much fun, because we're not necessarily looking out to go and sign world-class players. We've got world-class players in key positions. We need those under-21 players, ideally German, but priority is under-21. We need those youngsters with bags of potential to come in and be the next generation who come through. We need to go and get the Sanchos, the Haalands, the Bellinghams. We need to do things the Dortmund way. And that sounds so much fun. We don't really have anyone with massive potential outside of the big three. We've got a couple of 18-year-olds who look like they've got a little something about them. Marcus Bardet, how do we say that? 6'3" centre-back at 18 years old, 2-star current ability, 4.5-star potential. This guy is going to get games for us, that's for sure. And then we've also got Thomas Muller, not that one, who's an 18-year-old right back. Again, bags of potential, 2.5-star, 4.5-star potential ability. Another one who's come through our youth system. So it looks like our youth system is churning players out. There's no one quite ready to come off the conveyor belt after those two, but they are certainly very nice to have. And then as we go a little bit further back, Samu Ballo is a winger. So we might be playing with a system with wide players in, because he's also an attacking midfielder and a winger. We've certainly got some wide players here, which we've got Rodrigo Garza off of Norwich. We need to sell him quickly. We know he's no good. Although, to be fair, looks like he's taken Germany by storm, which is nice. We've got Cloves. Great name. He's wanted by Leipzig. Leipzig can do one. They're not even good enough to beat a temporary manager. But I think we have got the makings of a very, very good side here. We're not necessarily committing to playing a diamond, probably not committing to playing a diamond at all. We don't really have a holding midfielder, and we've got all those attacking players. I'm actually leaning more towards that on first inspection of the squad, doing a 4-2-3-1. We've got a couple of very solid central midfielders. Idoloth can play central midfield. We've also got Armando Melo. That's a name I feel like has come up on scout reports a lot for me over the years when I was at Norwich. Obviously, Cloves we've just looked at. We probably need a little bit more quality in central midfield, but our first choice defenders are good. No strength in depth. We don't have a goalkeeper to speak of at all. Are you telling me this guy, who I said was not good enough, came in and played... Oh, God, he was their first choice keeper. Brendan Rodgers lost his mind. Zlatko Golonja, a 2-star current ability, £500,000 valued player, has just been the first choice goalkeeper for Dortmund. We need a goalkeeper. Priority number one, we need a goalkeeper. We're then going to need a couple of centre-backs because our second best one is 32. We've got the youngster, Bade. So at the moment, I'm looking at Stewart and Baddy to be our centre-back partnership. We need at least one more, probably two if we're going to move Mascara on, which I am inclined to as we're trying to do a youth project here. Left back, we've got Andrea Locatelli, good German name there. Andrea Locatelli can be our left back. That seems to work nicely. We don't really have a right back other than Thomas Muller, not that one, who will be the long-term answer there, but we probably need someone in the meantime, at least to compete with him. We have got Francined Rosero, but he is on the transfer list and we'll probably look to move him on. So players throughout the squad needed here. Couple of central midfielders, but then we've got Gustavo, who we've already looked at, can be our starting striker. Michael Boning is a striker / right winger. So I guess he's probably going to be out on the right wing with Gustavo up front and then Drury in behind there and I guess Ballo on the left. That's probably going to be our front four. I think we are leaning towards the 4-2-3-1. Goodness me, it's been a while. And then we just need strength in depth from Wonder Kids. This, I don't know how Brendan Rodgers ballsed it up to the degree that he did. The man, like I say, he lost his mind. He was obviously he'd had enough. He wanted to make it hard for himself. So we are going to do this system. We'll tweak it slightly once we fill it with players. But that's the system that we're going to be working towards. Ideally, with some inside forwards. Can we do a quick pick, or is it because everyone's on holidays, so we can't even quick pick yet and have a proper look? But if we come back here, we'd just done that, hadn't we? Is Ballo? Yeah, so he's an inside forward on that side. And then Boning is, it's all coming together. Oh, we're going to win the league this year. How good are we compared to everyone else in this league? Obviously, we know Leipzig, pretty tasty. Bayern Munich have won the Bundesliga about 15 years in a row leading into this. So Stewart and Drury are both in the Media Dream 11. which is good. Good to have players in the Media Dream 11. We didn't really have that at Norwich, and we did all right. And they're amongst the better players in the division. So that's the kind of quality we want to be looking for. Bayern favourites, Leipzig, beaten Champions League finalists, second favourites. Then we've got Hertha and Wolfsburg getting in the way as well. We don't need to worry too much about them. I think we should definitely be looking at Champions League qualification for this year. It depends how overpowered Bayern and Leipzig are, whether or not we're actually going to be competitive for winning the Bundesliga first time round. I said it was a 5-year job. Looking at the squad, it might be a 3-year job. Either way, we're going to win the Champions League here, and then I will hang up my clipboard and whistle and call it a day on non-league to legend. But I'm looking for any indication that there's something in here I've not noticed that is disastrous and needs resolving. But I actually think this is a club in a healthier position than I thought it would be. So, yeah, knocked out in third place of the Champions League. I mean, they were unlucky to be knocked out at that stage of the Champions League. If one result against Juventus had gone another way, they would have been in the Champions League and their season would have ended on the 30th like Madrid's did, and we wouldn't have had all those shenanigans. That's how close we were to a shenanigan-free season. But then knocked out by Manchester United in the Europa League. That's a tough draw. And then the German Cup didn't go so good either. We've got players already being scouted. We're not going to be signing old men, so we're not going to bring Yusuf Demir in. Even though he was useful for us at Real Madrid, he is not going to be a player that you see coming in. We've got a lot of clauses that we can sell. Not that we particularly need money, but money is always nice to have, so we might sell some clauses as well. But otherwise, this is setting itself up very, very nicely. I need to crack on with my summer now, so I will get these transfers done, and I will be back tomorrow to show you how I've spent that money and get started on the new season. Did Schalke get promoted? That would be perfect if Schalke could come up and be competitive with us. They haven't done yet. Come on, Schalke, sort your lives out. Are any of my boys still at Schalke? That'd be nice if any of my players were still there. I'm not recognising any names. It is a long time since I was Schalke manager. Holleback's still there. Hooray! So they've still got Holleback, now 31 years old. Oh, my word. How many years have passed since Schalke? No, that's Borussia Dortmund's manager history. I want my job history. So I left Schalke 7 years ago now. But we do win stuff most years since then. This is going to be fun. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.